This year is dedicated to Ilui Nishmas, Rachalea, Bas, Reb Chaim Tzvi. Okay, let's begin. We are in the middle of the Chofetz Chaim's list of lavin and mitzvos that are linked up with Lashon Hara. And the reason we're spending so much time on this list, as we explained in introductory classes, is that Lashon Hara, the Chofetz Chaim explains, it affects every part of a person's life. Many, many parts of a person's interaction with Amul Chaveiro. So many other areas beyond Lashon Hara are impacted. So that's what this list is all about. And we'll see if a person is careful with Lashon Hara, it affects everything. So we're up to Lav Vav. Lav Vav we introduced last time. Lav Vav is the Lav of Chillul Hashem. Desecrating Hashem's name. So let's see. Lav Vav. It's also to be Michal Hashem's name. Why? Why is Lashon Hara in particular a Chillul Hashem? Because Achrei she'ein bazeh taiva v'lo hana'ah gashmit sha'idei zeh yiskaber yitzro olav. There's no hana, there's no pleasure from Lashon Hara, and that Yetzer Hara should force you to speak Lashon Hara. There's no pleasure, there's no physical pleasure from Lashon Hara. You don't enjoy it. Therefore, why are you doing it? Al Kain, the Chofetz Chaim goes on, Nechshav ha'avan hazeh kemered ufrika asol malchus shemayim be'alma. It's a rebellion against Hashem. Why else are you doing it? It's not, a person has a taiva, they enjoy a certain type of tray food, it's hard not to eat it if a person knows about the taste. But here it's different. You don't enjoy it. Therefore it's a Chillul Hashem. That's what the Chofetz Chaim writes. Any avera that a person does without any push of a physical pleasure, a physical hana, it's just a Chillul Hashem. Because why else are you doing it except to rebel against Hashem? This idea comes from the Rambam Sefer HaMitzvos. The Chofetz Chaim quotes it here in the footnote Vav. The Rambam says, in Sefer HaMitzvos, Lo Taseh Samach Gimel. The Rambam wrote a Sefer listing all the Taryag Mitzvos. And really, the Rambam Sefer, Mishnah Torah, the Ad HaChazaka, the famous Sefer of all the halachas in the Torah, really it's an elaboration on the Mishnah Torah. Every one of the Taryag Mitzvos in the Mishnah Torah, the Rambam elaborates on the details, the rules of the Taryag Mitzvos. So back in the Sefer Mitzvos, the Rambam writes that we're warned against Chillul Hashem. And he says, one part of Chillul Hashem is Kishe Ya'ase Adam Aveira Ein Taiva Bo V'lo Hano Hinei Ze Mechal Hashem Gamkein. Why? Ki Ze Mechavein Lahachis Bo Ze Inyan Vein Hano Gashmit Hu Ki Mechavein Lahachis Bo Ze Inyan. It's as if you're just doing it to spite Hashem, as if Rahman al-Litzlan. That's what it's as if. Because why else are you doing it? There's no hana. There's no pleasure. This is what the Chofetz Chaim says, that Lashon Hara also has this aveira. Okay. Now, this idea that Lashon Hara doesn't have any hana is actually in the Gemara. The Chofetz Chaim quotes it. There's a Gemara in Tainus Hadaf Chesed Beis. It's also here later on in the footnote that the Gemara describes that in the future, the animals are going to come to the Nachash and say to the Nachash, everything else that, let's say the lion wants to go eat something, so he'll go catch his prey and eat his prey. There's a hana. It says to the Nachash, why do you go and bite people? You don't. What hana did you get from biting person? You bite a person just to kill them. The Nachash doesn't get enjoyment out of the eating of the food. Mahana yesh lecha, like physical hana. That's the Gemara says. Vu meishiv lehem uma yitron lebal halashon, and the Nachash asks, and what does the Lashon Hara speaker gain from speaking Lashon Hara? And Rashi explains, misaprin Lashon Hara afapi she'en lo hana. They speak Lashon even though there's no hana. So that's the famous Gemara, that the Gemara uses the Nachash as a mashal. Just like an animal, a snake, will bite and kill, and it's not for the pleasure. The snake doesn't get the enjoyment, or the physical enjoyment from the eating. That's not the way snakes work when they eat. So too, it's a mashal that people do things without hana. They do their Be'er Lashon Hara without hana. So that's the famous Gemara. The Nachash is the mashal. I once saw, Reb Nebenzahl points out a beautiful idea, and this connects back to the previous classes. How come the Gemara uses the Nachash, the snake, as a mashal about Lashon Hara. Correct, because we learned that the Aveira of the snake was an Aveira of Lashon Hara. That's what we discussed earlier. That the first Aveira the snake did, the Nachash did, was speak Lashon Hara, Rahman al-Litzlan, against the Kadosh Baruch Hu, Rahman al-Litzlan. So it fits beautifully that when the Gemara wants to bring a mashal for what Lashon Hara is like, there's no Hana be Lashon Hara. What's the example? It's the example of the snake. This is in Rav Nebenzahl's writings in the Sichot. It's here in the source sheets. No, one second.